Day number 10, I believe it is. Day number 10, getting this finished up today, kind of a light workout before the scrimmage tomorrow, trying to bring them out here and get a little bit of good work with the shoulder pads on, and then took the shoulder pads off to get some polish up at the very end, just getting ready for tomorrow's scrimmage. This far into it, it starts to become a little bit more about the offense and the defense and not so much just about the individual. We're still going to evaluate every player, every play for depth chart purposes, but at the same time, we got to start to put the offense together and the defense together, and Saturday scrimmage will be a little bit more like a game. If you don't make a first down, they're off the field. It won't have the play segments like we had in the first one. So this is kind of the second test of 3, as we get into this spring practice. But I've been pleased with a lot of the progress that some positions are making. We talked a little bit about, after the first scrimmage, some of the positions that I felt like still were a little bit behind. And this will be a great opportunity to kind of see how much progress we've made in a week. But they're working hard, and they've been pretty focused and pretty dialed into this point. Probably consistency. I mean, that's probably been the thing that's been lacking. They've both had some really good days, and they've both had some really bad days. I mean, obviously, the quarterback position's the hardest one, because if I'm a receiver, I learn to run a curl. If I'm at tackle, I learn to block the end. But I'm at quarterback, I got to know who's hot, who's not being blocked up front, what everybody's running, what the coverage is. I mean, they got to know what 22 guys on the field are. So it takes a little bit longer to develop that position, especially not having anybody with any legitimate experience there. When you look at, you really have very little game experience coming back at that position. So that's probably the biggest thing that I'm looking for, is the consistency out of the quarterback. We talked about the receiver play is another one that has really got to pick up, and we're challenging the heck out of those guys to make some plays one-on-one on the perimeter, and I think it's getting better, but we're going to find out how much progress we've made tomorrow, and we put a lot of emphasis on these scrimmages as evaluations. Well, it's for a guy that hadn't played at all. I mean, he was a guy that, you had a DJ Banks, you got a Paul Turner who's transferring in, you've got a couple guys, the Hunter Lee that's played, but he was really a relative unknown. He didn't play much last year, and then to have him come out and to have him really excel as a young player and show some flashes, I won't say excel, to show some flashes that he really has a great opportunity to make a contribution on this team for this fall. Well, the inexperience of the linebackers in the secondary is just as we talked about with some of the wide receivers. I mean, that's something, the skill positions on defense. I want to see the consistency out of them, and we need to see where we are. We need to understand that when we give up a post, the whole defense gets hurt. You can have 10 guys doing what they're supposed to do, and one guy give up a deep ball, and the whole defense just gave up 50 yards. We've got to do a better job of keeping the ball in front of us. Not yet. There's some that I've really been pleased with. I mean, that I think are making strides, but we're not ready to go play a game yet. I think the one that you have the most experience at is the defensive line. When I look at the way IK's playing and the way Ellis is playing and what Shaq is doing there and what James is doing there, looking at Butler and the way he's coming along as a young guy. I've been pleased with D'Angelo Brooks' progress. I mean, Kissabertha's doing a good job playing as the Energizer Bunny, playing with just a great motor right now. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are doing a lot of good things there, and I think that right now is probably where I feel the most comfortable with the depth that's been displayed so far through the first 10 practices, but we're still not where we need to be, and we still have a couple question marks and how all those people are going to fill those depth charts. Improvement, development to make sure that we can keep getting better. I keep saying I don't know how good we can be. I just want to be as good as we can be, and I think the only way we can do that is to come out here and work every day. We only have a week. I wish we had 4, but we only have a week left, and so we just got to make the most of this week and make sure that we can come out of spring as developed and as far along as we can as a new staff, putting in a new offense, a new defense, a new special teams. So I think this has been a very educational spring for us as coaches, for them as players to get to know us and to put in the new systems. But right now, I think there's been a lot of good things, and I've been pleased with some of the progress we've made. We've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go.